The United States and China are locked in a complex dance, their fortunes increasingly intertwined. This relationship is not just a matter of economics, but also of politics, culture, and global influence. The two nations, despite their differences, find themselves in a situation where their actions significantly impact one another. Consider this. Despite ongoing trade tensions, the US trade deficit with China hit a record $382.9 billion in 2022. This figure is not just a number, it represents the vast amount of goods and services exchanged between the two countries. From electronics to clothing, the flow of products is immense. This staggering figure underscores the depth of the economic relationship between the two superpowers. Cargo ships laden with goods traverse the oceans, symbolizing the lifeline of trade that sustains both economies. The ports are bustling with activity, a testament to the ongoing exchange. This single statistic reveals the intricate web of trade that connects the US and China. The network of shipping routes and the global supply chain are intricately linked, making it nearly impossible to separate the two without significant repercussions. It highlights the reality that decoupling these two economic giants is easier said than done. The interdependence is not just economic, but also strategic, with both nations relying on each other for various critical resources and markets. The implications of this interdependence are profound, impacting everything from consumer prices to global manufacturing supply chains. Factories in China produce goods that fill American stores, while American innovations find markets in China. This symbiotic relationship affects everyday life in both countries. Understanding the complexities of US-China relations is crucial for navigating the geopolitical landscape of the 21st century. Diplomatic efforts, trade negotiations, and cultural exchanges all play a role in shaping this dynamic relationship. As we move forward, the actions of these two nations will continue to have a profound impact on the world stage. The relationship between the United States and China is arguably the most consequential bilateral relationship in the world today. This dynamic interaction between two of the world's largest economies and military powers shapes not only their own futures, but also the global landscape. The decisions made in Washington and Beijing reverberate across continents, influencing international policies, economic trends, and even cultural exchanges. As the world emerges from a period marked by global conflict, the scars of past wars and the lessons learned from them underscore the importance of diplomacy and peaceful resolution. The international community looks to the US and China to lead by example, fostering a new era of cooperation and mutual respect. The need for cooperation and understanding between these two powers is more critical than ever. Joint initiatives in science, technology, and environmental protection can pave the way for a more sustainable and prosperous future. By working together, the US and China have the potential to address some of the most pressing challenges of our time. The US, long the dominant global power, is now navigating the rise of China, an economic and military powerhouse challenging the existing world order. This shift is not just a matter of economic competition, but also involves strategic and ideological dimensions that affect global governance and security. China's rapid economic growth and expanding military capabilities have positioned it as a formidable global player. This rise challenges the traditional dominance of the US and calls for a rethinking of international alliances and strategies. This shift in the balance of power creates both opportunities and challenges. On one hand, it opens up new avenues for economic partnerships and technological advancements. On the other hand, it necessitates careful navigation to avoid conflicts and ensure stability. On the one hand, cooperation between the US and China is essential for tackling transnational issues such as climate change and pandemics. These global challenges require a unified approach, leveraging the strengths and resources of both nations to find effective solutions. On the other hand, the potential for misunderstanding, miscalculation, and conflict is very real. Diplomatic efforts must be continuously strengthened to manage tensions and prevent escalation. The stakes are high and the world watches closely as these two superpowers navigate their complex relationship. Several key issues dominate the US-China relationship. Firstly, economic competition between the two nations is fierce. This rivalry plays out on the global stage, impacting trade deals, technological innovation, and access to resources. Secondly, military tensions, particularly in the South China Sea, remain a significant point of contention. Finally, ideological differences further complicate the relationship. The US champions democracy and individual liberties, while China operates under a system prioritizing state control and a distinct interpretation of human rights. To grasp the complexities of the US-China relationship today, it's crucial to understand the historical trajectory. This relationship has been shaped by a series of significant events and turning points that have defined the political, economic, and social interactions between these two powerful nations. The 20th century witnessed moments of cooperation and conflict. From the early 1900s, when the US began to take a more active interest in China, to the tumultuous years of the Chinese Civil War, the relationship was anything but static. The Second World War saw the US and China allied against Imperial Japan. This period of cooperation was marked by mutual support and shared goals as both nations sought to defeat a common enemy. The collaboration during the war laid a foundation for future interactions, even as the post-war period brought new challenges. However, the Cold War ushered in a period of estrangement. The ideological divide between the capitalist United States and the Communist People's Republic of China created a chasm that seemed insurmountable. This era was characterized by suspicion, proxy conflicts, and a lack of direct communication. The establishment of diplomatic relations in 1979 marked a turning point, paving the way for decades of economic engagement. President Nixon's historic visit to China in 1972, followed by the formal recognition of the People's Republic of China, opened a new chapter. This diplomatic breakthrough was not just a political maneuver, but a strategic realignment that acknowledged China's growing importance on the world stage. This opening up of China, coupled with its entry into the World Trade Organization in 2001, fueled its economic rise, transforming it into the global power it is today. The economic reforms initiated by Deng Xiaoping in the late 1970s set the stage for rapid industrialization and modernization. China's integration into the global economy brought unprecedented growth, lifting millions out of poverty and reshaping global trade dynamics. This historical context underscores the cyclical nature of US-China relations. The ebb and flow of cooperation and conflict reflect the broader geopolitical shifts and domestic priorities of both nations. Understanding this cyclical pattern is essential for navigating the current and future landscape of international relations. Periods of engagement are often followed by phases of tension, highlighting the need for nuanced and adaptable diplomacy. As both nations continue to evolve, the ability to manage differences and find common ground will be crucial. The lessons of history remind us that while the relationship may be fraught with challenges, it also holds the potential for significant collaboration and mutual benefit. The recent years have witnessed a distinct shift in the US approach to China, with the concept of decoupling gaining significant traction. This policy, advocated by some, aims to reduce economic interdependence and limit cooperation in areas like technology and research. Proponents argue that decoupling is necessary to protect US economic and national security interests in the face of China's growing assertiveness. However, critics caution against the potential consequences of such a drastic move. They argue that decoupling could backfire, harming both economies and potentially leading to further mistrust and instability. The debate over decoupling highlights the difficult choices facing policymakers as they grapple with the challenges posed by China's rise. The future of US-China relations remains uncertain. The path ahead is fraught with challenges and the stakes are incredibly high. A descent into open conflict would be catastrophic not only for the US and China, but for the entire world. However, navigating the relationship solely through the lens of competition and rivalry risks overlooking potential avenues for cooperation. Finding the right balance will require astute diplomacy, a willingness to engage in dialogue, and a clear-eyed understanding of both the challenges and opportunities that this complex relationship presents. The future of US-China relations is not preordained. It will be shaped by the choices made in Washington and Beijing, as well as by the actions of other global actors. It's crucial to foster an informed and nuanced public discourse on this critical issue. Dear viewers, please share your thoughts on US-China relations in the comments, and do check out another video on international relations. What role do you believe other countries should play in shaping this dynamic? Further reading On China by Henry Kissinger, The Age of Ambition, Chasing Fortune, Truth and Glory in New China by Evan Osnos, Destined for War, Can America and China Escape Through Thucydides' Trap by Graham Allison. If you enjoyed this video, please share your thoughts about China and US relations, and don't forget to check out another video on international relations.